Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me. I'm Tash from Heart and Design, and today we're going to have a go at painting a previously drawn unicorn in another video taken from my book of how to draw step-by-step fairies. This is available on Amazon or on my website or on Patreon if you subscribe every month. There's a new book every month and videos to go with that. So on YouTube, all of the drawing activities will be there, but if you want to learn how to paint and colour in different ways, that's on Patreon. So you'd need to sign up for the month. There will be time lapses available on YouTube though, if you are interested in that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like and comment. Let's just get started. So I have drawn the unicorn already, but very faintly, and I have rubbed out using a kneadable eraser, so that it's very, very light. With watercolours, because they are so transparent, I didn't really want to see too much of the pencil coming in, because we'll be using our brushes and paints to put some of the detail in. Now, I haven't planned this, so I like to not plan things and just to see what happens so that you can see how I go about things. Oh, I've forgotten my palette. Let's just find my palette. It's down here. There we go. Okay. So, excuse my palette, is a very used palette, lots of colours. So I'm going to try and get some colours ready. I'm going to go for lots of purples and pinks because I just think that really it's what unicorn colours are all about. Now I do want to have more pastel-y colours, so I'm going to just put together some purples and blues, yeah, that I think will suit the unicorn, and I may end up adding some white just to give them more of a pastel shade. That blue's fine as it is anyway. Just need to get more of it. And you don't need to mix up much for just a small drawing like this. So this is just any watercolor paper will be fine. Because these are beginner videos, you just need to make sure you've got what's affordable for you. If I'm doing professional artwork that I'm selling, I would of course invest in the better paper and the better watercolors, but you don't need them just to get started. There, we've got some nice pastel shades. Let's try a pink now. I quite like that one though. Might be a bit bright for what we're doing. Well, maybe not. Like a peachy colour. I like that one. Okay, so that's all I'm doing to start with, is pulling together some colours so that I'm ready to go when I start to paint in. Now these colours I'm going to use in the hair, the mane, the fur of the unicorn. And then I'm going to use greys. So I'm going to get some greys together. I'm going to make a nice grey, like a more faded grey, because the unicorn is going to be white. Sorry, I have a really hoarse throat today. I don't know why. Try. Just a really, really pale grey, because the unicorn will be white, but obviously it won't have just pure white. Nothing is really in nature pure white, so a bit more white there, I think. More white than grey, really. It just needs to be a hint of grey. There we go. So we've got that peachy colour. Let's try I think a pink. That might come out the same as the purple because it's actually probably more purple. No, it might be all right. Yeah, still purple, but it is a different purple. It is more of a pinkier purple. And get as much as we can up into our palette. So I'm literally just lifting up the paint, adding some water till it's the consistency that I want. You don't want it to be too watered down, otherwise the colour won't show through at all. Right, so we're ready for the first layer. For the first step, I'm going to do, you won't be able to see the palette now, but you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to have a go at the peach colour first, and I'm just going to lay it down on the top part of its mane there. Now I do want all the colours to kind of flow into each other, so I need to work quite quickly and make them all kind of blend in a bit and do the watercolour thing. Okay, because we want it to look as natural as possible. I'm going to go in for the blue now because the other pink is quite purpley pink. I might add in a minute. There we go, just let it bleed through. I think that's what's nice about it. Just let it do what it wants to do naturally. I'm going to add some whites. There we are. Now it's a nice pink, a nice pastel pink. I'm going to come down here for the pink here. Then I'm also going to come up here. Okay. And then I'm going to use the peachy colour again and come in here. Now, although I don't mind the mixing a bit because it's the fur and I want it to mix in, you don't want it to mix in too much because it will make a mess of it otherwise. So it does, just try and push it around to where you want it to go. Okay. You can lift paint up. It doesn't matter, like I say, if a bit of it does, but you don't want it to spread too much. Although I do think it looks nice if it is spreading naturally. Just water that down and reactivate and push that about a bit more. So you can do that as well. Just wet the paint again. It will reactivate and move around again if you're not happy with something, or if you're not happy the way something is. So once we've done that, we have to choose the colour on the hair, on the head of the unicorn. So we're going to go with some blue watercolour. Okay, now I don't really want this mixing on the head. I want the next one to be behind to be bright. So cover your ears. I'm going to dry with my dryer. You can use a hair dryer, anything you've got, or just wait and be patient, which I'm not. Okay, I think that's dry enough now to go on to do the other part of the hair. I think I'll use the purpley colour. It seems like the pink and the purple actually do look very similar. And this is for a little bit of hair that's kind of coming around the unicorn's horn. Okay. So now what I want to do, because that's all dry, I want to go in again and just lay some more colour down. Get more colour on my brush and just give it a little bit of definition. Yeah, just to give it some depth. Just add a little bit more in, make some patterns with it. Some hair-like patterns, I should say fur really. Not really hair, is it? Okay, just to give it some definition. I'm going to use the purple again down here. What I do have is some sparkly watercolour, some pearlescent watercolour. So I think I might use that on the body. So I did mix a grey, but this is, I just got these from Hobbycraft. They're pearlescent watercolours. They're very small samples, but you don't need a lot. So now I need to go in and kind of, oh yeah, that's nice. Kind of go in and put some shadow in where there will be shadow naturally on the unicorn. It's going to look nice. Okay, there. And where there might be some lines. Here as well. So we're just kind of giving the shape of the neck and body part. I'm going to come in with a little bit of grey. Then I'm going to push it round with the water. Just want to spread it round very lightly where the silver is and kind of colour in. We're just colouring in gently the neck. Okay, so it will look almost white. So, ooh, got my head on the camera. So we're just going to give that a dry. And there you go. You can see how the the grey is just slightly off-white, and the silver is kind of shining and shimmering away, just giving us some idea of where the body is. Now, in a moment, I'm going to go over these colours as well with some of that pearlescent watercolour. So, let's get some more of this very, very light grey, and we need to put it on the head. Again, we're going to push it round so that it's all over and quite watered down. I'm adding more water to push it around. Go. Gonna rework in some of that into the ear. Now I am leaving the eye quite blank because I want to keep the white parts white, and also I'm going around its little cheek very lightly because I want to make that nice and shiny as well. Okay, so let's get some of that sparkly grey on there as well. I'm going to put some on the ear just to define the ear a little bit. There we are. And I think I'll dry the face so I can add some more of that without it mixing in. Whoop. There we go. So let's get some more sparkly. So I think what we'll do is put some around here and around here, here, wherever you want really. Now I do need to get some of that grey again. Just come under here, like there's there's like a shadow underneath, because there will be a shadow where the head is over the neck, so it creates, like we do on us, it creates a darker shadow here. So just do it like that, almost diagonal. Right, now I want to come in and put some sparkly purple on the hair, some pearlescent. I don't think I ran through equipment before I started. So basically I've got some your normal watercolors. It doesn't matter what brand, don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. And just some pearlescent paints. You need some watercolor brushes. If you haven't got watercolor brushes, then just use what you have. It's fine. Key is just to get started. Just do it. And that way you'll just get going. More of that purple. Go. Nice. Very shimmery. With the blue down here. Maybe that darker blue. So really I'm just playing around and seeing what works. What doesn't work, what does work. That's nice. I do also have some peachy coloured. Go. Tiny. Okay. I think that's fine. So what I'm going to do, I think, is try and kind of pull it together from this point and make it look like it is a mane, so that they all kind of blend into each other just a little bit. That's better. Okay, so now it's time to get a really small brush. Let's see which one. Oh, this is a tiny brush for doing detail. I do have even tinier. I mean, this one, I don't know if you can see that. Really tiny. Don't even want, that's a 5/0. And this one is a 0, which I think is just about right for what I need. Now for the detail, putting in the detail, I don't really want to be watering the paints down much, so I'm just going to take the colours straight from the pan with a little bit of water. So you can see here now, I'm just coming in with a little bit of detail inside those ears, just to make them stand out a bit. Okay. Haven't done the horn yet. I think I'll leave the horn. Right, now we're going to do the eye in this grey. I don't really want to go in with a very dark black straight away. I might decide to afterwards, but for the moment I really don't want to do that, because you can make it darker much more easier than you can make it lighter when you go in later. So now I'm just using the brush to create the eyelashes. Oh, she's coming together now. Right, little mouth. Okay, and we did have like a little swirl for a nose. Now, I'm going to come in again, making it darker as I go, just because as it dries, you can see how light it is and how dark you really do want to go. Okay, I'm going to get the darker silvery pattern. I'm just going to come over the ear with the glitter like that, with the pearlescent. I'm going to do the same with the eye, just put a little bit of pearlescent on. You probably can't see on camera, but it's just giving it a little bit of a shine. It's cute. Okay. So we're going to leave the inner part of the eye white. Now we're going to come in with a nice pink for its cheek. I'm going to use the glittered watercolour for this. Give it a nice cute little cheek, a blush, and I am kind of just going over what was already there so that it spreads in and doesn't look too much like this perfect little circle. We don't want that. Okay, I like the way the shadow's working there, but we need to work it in so it's blended a bit more which we can do if we just add a bit of water to what's already there. It will reignite it to spread around. You just push it around where you want it to go. Okay. There'll also probably be a little bit of shadow, just a little bit under here, the bottom of the face. We'll just make that a little bit darker. Okay, right, now we're going to go in and colour the hair. So again, I'm going straight in to the paint with a little bit of water. And now I'm just going to go over and draw some hair strokes in the direction of the fur. Okay, so that brings it to life again as well. We're going to get like the peachy colour, go straight in, and we're going to do the same, although I think it's still wet. Let me just dry it a bit. Okay, we're done there. So now I'm just going to go in with a small brush and just draw some hair-like marks again as well, because we've got lots of different shades underneath. It's fine, but it's just that extra little touch that helps to see that it is fur. Just put them wherever you want, wherever you're guided to. I'm going to do the same with the blue. Helps just to bring it to life a little bit and give it some depth. You can even have some strands coming off and put different shades in. I might just go back actually with that peachy colour and just do some strands coming off there as well. It's not wet enough. Go. Oh, too wet that time. What you want is more pigment and water. There we go, some little strands flicking out. Even put some just coming out from her ear up there. Okay. Now it's time for the purple. Let's put some quite dark purple in there. See how that goes. Yeah. Nice. And it's nice that you're overlaying the sparkle as well. And just draw it as though it's coming up from the top of its head. Same with the blue. If we go back to the blue, draw them as though they are coming from the head up here, so that it makes sense to our eyes. And same for the purple down the bottom. Some strands. Now it is down the bottom, so it can be darker, like that. It's a bit too dark, so we'll just get some tissue. Does happen. Okay, and then what we can do is just water it down. Move it about a bit. That's fine. Now we're going to go in and add some more darker strands to this peachy coloured one, because it needs to come right up as though it's coming from up here. There. That's better. Might even just put a few little peachy strands down here. Look. Bring it in. That's nice. And I need some of that lighter purple. Nice. Just to come in and finish off that part here. Now coming up from there is the unicorn's lovely horn. Hang on a minute, I just want to go back into that purple. It's not as defined as some of the others. There we go. And you can have some of the other colours creeping through into the others, and it kind of will bind it all together. And oh, I have forgotten to put any down here. Hopefully you can still hear me. I am talking quietly. When I concentrate, I do go quiet. I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing. Right, now we are going to go in and part there was bothering me a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to go in now with the grey and just make it a bit darker down here, because that will also be getting shadow around the back under the mane. Grey enough, I think so. Putting more on. I mean, that's how you can build your colour up with watercolour, is just start really light. You can use the same colour on top of the same colour, and then it will just keep getting darker and darker. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to give her, I think, some more of that silver on her ears. To me, it was kind of not. Spread it into that a little bit so it looks like, yeah, now it looks like an entire ear. I might just get a little bit of that black on my brush. A little bit. I want to go crazy. I want to make sure I've got more pigment than water. And just where her eyelashes are, just draw those in. And if you look at the picture, she does have one just coming from around here. You can just draw that in. Remember, you will need a really small detail brush for this. And then there's some little eyelashes at the bottom as well. I don't think I really want to do the whole eye black, because it will draw the eye of the person looking to the eye, and we don't really want that. We do want to keep that as white as possible. But actually I'm thinking, what about just a tiny hint of blue? Oops. That was all water and no blue. You could have a blue eye. There we go. Just a little bit of blue there. So now the horn. What colour should we go for with the horn? It's stripy, so let's start with, let's do all shiny colours on the horn. Let's see how that goes. So let's try purple first. It's quite a nice purple. This is the pearlescence I'm using now. Okay. So that's one layer done. We'll go for the peachy colour next, because that's quite different from the purple. There we go. Let's go with pink. I'm just trying to include colours that we've already used, so it doesn't stand out as not making any sense. All needs to kind of flow. You don't want to have too many mixed colours. I'm going to put some more of the purple on. I've put some at the top. And if you can see, there we go. There's some at the bottom. And I would say pretty much done. Now what we can do is go in with the grey, just the grey. You don't want too much water, and you can add in some of these lines to also add the definition in that were on the drawing, but we're just painting them in instead. Yep. And then that just gives it some feel of the way that it's flowing and moving. Some little lines. The ones that are drawn in, just draw them in again. I'm going to put some around here That just shows us that that's the nose part. Yeah. So a fun little sketchbook activity for you. Or, I mean, you can use it for whatever you want. You can take it further. You can do in the background as well. If I was doing the background, I would probably wet it down first and then just put paint into the wet. I do wet on wet because that way you get a nice kind of blotchy background, which I think would be great. I'm just going to go in a little. I mean, this is the thing. You can keep going on with it and changing things and making it more how you want it. You can just keep going forever. Like you could have a bit more dark shadow under the mane there, because where the mane is, and that's creating shadow underneath. I think we're pretty much there. I think we're there. I'm just going to just put a bit more grey here because there just seems to be a stark contrast between the shadow and this part. Good. We're all done. Hope you enjoyed that. Please do subscribe, like, comment, share, all those things. Help my channel to grow. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Oh, and don't forget, Patreon has all of the full-length videos in all different mediums, covering all the drawings out of this book, Fairies and Summer, so far. So I only started 2 months ago, and I'm really excited. Next month is Christmas, so looking forward to that. But we've got 3 more weeks.